Hey friends, welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the 4 common mistakes in investing and how you're able to identify them when they rise up. First of all, let's look at a TikTok video where this influencer is giving her advice on stock picking. She's got over 200,000 followers on TikTok.
I'm going to show you guys 3 stocks that I used to go from $200 to $50,000. By the way, this prop money, you best believe I'm not selling my stocks. Starting with number 3, this is AFA. It's a weed stock. I bought it at $8 a share, and with Democrats in office and legalizing marijuana, I think it still has room to grow. Stock number 2 is Zillow, and with interest rates being so low, a lot of people have been buying houses, which is why I assume it's skyrocketed up, but we don't expect interest rates to go back down until maybe 2023, so I think it still has room to grow too. Number 1 is Tesla. It's my favorite stock of all time. I have $29,000 just in Tesla because it's my favorite. I think it'll eventually hit $2,000 with all the innovation they're doing, so I think it still has room to grow, but I bought this one at $200 last year.
What she's saying in the video, Democrats is going to legalize marijuana, interest rates are so low, people are buying houses, not mentioning Tesla, because of the innovation and all that. Sounds pretty convincing, right? The problem with this type of content is that that's too little information to justify a stock purchase. The criteria the girl is giving on buying these stocks are all true, but this information alone doesn't provide a solid base to push up the stock price. This brings to the first common mistakes amateur investors make, is to invest based on outdated insights. When everyone kind of agrees on a certain insight and a trend is already occurring, for example, we all know that when Democrats take office, there's a higher chance they're going to legalize marijuana. We all know that Tesla is doing great things. We all know that real estate is booming. These are not new information, and they're already reflected in the current stock price. So you're making investment decisions based on outdated insights where they have already become widespread information. Be aware that while these informations are all good and positive, but these alone may not bring the stock price even higher if they are already bid into the stock price. Number 2, availability heuristic. In behavioral economics, availability heuristics describes when something is easy to remember, people often misjudge how common or probable it is. In other words, in some cases, our minds seize on information that's readily available, hence the availability heuristic, and we tend to overestimate how representative it is, which encourages excessive risk-taking. For example, study shows that investors are willing to pay a high price to make a concentrated position in a stock that's able to make them a lot of money in a short amount of time, or a stock that may be destined for greatness. They're constantly searching for the next superstar like Apple or Google so that they could become exceptionally rich. But superstar stands out precisely because they're so rare, therefore receive a lot of attention. This makes the information about Apple and Google readily available, but Apple and Google are statistically rare cases. This tricks us to think that such investing opportunities are common, so we take a large position and pay a high price for a highly unlikely possibility. Eventually, below average returns are more likely the result. So keep in mind that investing opportunities usually come from places that most people overlook, therefore less mentioned on social media or news outlet. When information becomes readily available, that opportunity may have already become a risk. Number 3, loss aversion. According to research, the fear of losing money is a lot bigger than the excitement of making a gain. Moreover, it's hard for people to give up on their losing positions. That usually leads them to cling to their decision, hoping the stock will come back one day, but eventually losing more money. To fight loss aversion, it's important to make decisions free of bias and emotions. Educate yourself, invest based on your discipline, be it technical or fundamental, instead of on hype and emotions. Number 4, confirmation bias. This doesn't just happen in the world of investing. People's existing beliefs has a huge impact on what decision they make for their investments. Any information that supports their beliefs immediately grabs their attention. The information that contradicts their belief tend to be ignored. In the past decade in China, the founder of LETV promised to build a gigantic online ecosystem covering film, sports, cloud services, online shopping mall, cars, and much more. There was so much hype around LETV, investors and TV celebrities were advocating for him, believing the ecosystem is the future. Their belief in the founder and the promising future of LETV made them amplify any good news, but chose to ignore adverse information. In 10 years, the company's stock price went on a roller coaster from its IPO price of 29 yuan to the highest of 180, and eventually fall back to less than 2 before it went bankrupt. It left the investors and TV celebrities nothing but a huge amount of debt and a distant dream. When our belief is reinforced by supporting evidence and experience, confirmation bias gets worse. To overcome confirmation bias, try to look for arguments that contradict your belief, understand them, and continuously update your investing system. We as humans have some fundamental cravings built into us. For example, to conserve energy, to reduce uncertainty. They're deeply embedded in our brain, but sometimes trick us into making bad choices, such as believing TikTok investing or get-rich-quick scheme. Investing, like everything else, is based on your understanding of the world. It needs continuous education and learning from feedbacks.